The Neutral.
No, we're still muted. I've been talking this whole time and I'm muted. Thank you, chat. All right, intro again. Hey, everyone. Sorry about there not being a show last week. Girlfriend ranks higher than you guys. My guest today is NyxRose. We have known each other since 2015 when she was still a writer for League of Legends. Emily has done so many things since then, you know, working with Echo Fox and now being the CEO and co-founder of Equinox Gaming. We're going to hit that two-player screen. Hey!
Hello.
It is a NyxRose. Yeah, we can hear you. I hope. I mean, I can hear you. I don't know if the chat seems to be responding. So yeah, you know, we've known each other for a while, and the way we start the show every week is, what is a NyxRose?
What is a NyxRose?
Where does it come from?
Oh God, no. Oh God, I'm not ready. It's like a really embarrassing name, actually.
Oh?
That I came up with when I was like 15, 14, when I was on PMS. You know, Pandora's Mighty Soldiers. I was in their Halo clan, and we were like trying to make like Game Battle's Halo team. So we came up with the team name Nyx, but I can't tell you what it means because it's super, super embarrassing. But like, it was supposed to be like just a random team on Game Battles just for fun, Halo 3, and then like kind of just stuck. Like, it wasn't supposed to be a name. My name before that was actually worse, and that's embarrassing as well. But
Chat. If you guys give me enough purple hearts, I can maybe convince Emily by the end of the show to tell us what the old name was.
It's so embarrassing. But anyway, yeah, it came from back then when I was still playing Halo, and it just stuck. Like, no sites had NyxRose taken, so I always get my name. But it's weird because people don't really call me NyxRose. Everybody calls me Emily anyway, so.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's like understandable. It's just fun because, you know, everybody has... Yo, some people have some really wild names. I've been lucky that most of the people on my show don't have, like, crazy handles, right? Like, NyxRose isn't that crazy.
No.
You know, neither is JB or Shine. But what's funny is that all of y'all started in first-person shooters.
Ooh.
So Shine used to be a semi-professional Gears player. Kizzy also used to play Gears competitively. So, I don't know, maybe apparently the FGC, everybody gets their start in shooters.
I started with Halo, that's Halo 2. And I'm trying to think about like why there's a correlation there. I don't know.
Console gamers. That's my...
I can see that. Yeah, a lot of people that play Tekken, I notice, or like FGC people, they always play lots of other games. I've noticed like back in like MOBA or like League of Legends or like CSGO players, most of the time back then, they would only play like CSGO or League of Legends, but Tekken players play like everything.
I think because like fighting game players, I think a lot more of them are like gamers. Like in the like traditional sense of like, I just like playing video games, but I happen to be very good at this video game, and insert fighting game title here. Whereas I think for like a lot of League players, you know, that's the one I have the most experience with. When you become a professional League player, you don't really have a lot of time for other games, right? Like you have like something like 12 hours of scrim blocks, you've got practice. So like, where do you fit in like an 18-hour day?
That's true.
Another game when you're doing like 10 hours of scrims, like where do you fit in another game with, you know, your social life, your exercising? I mean, some people like Afromu find the time to like play other games, but like, you know, you're pressured to stream League on your stream when you're streaming because that's what you're known for. So I think that's where it comes from. Y'all people stop blowing up my phone. I'm streaming, folks. Folks, I'm streaming. Y'all know this. But yeah, so I think that's maybe where it comes from.
Yeah, I think so. And like League games, they have to take like 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, so...
It's like a long time.
Yeah, versus, you know, me and my FGC matches taking like 30 seconds.
Yep, that's mine. Yep.
losing, by the way, folks. This isn't me. This isn't me, you know, I'm not like on the climb like Emily here, you know, in her Tekken climb, you know, that really great video that somebody posted of her at the end of the year. But I'm not that good at fighting games. I'm really, really bad, except at Soul Calibur, so meet me outside. But you used to write about League of Legends way back in a different lifetime.
Oh god. Yeah.
How did that even happen?
I was playing Halo a lot, right? When up until college, and at college I got super busy with school and work and trying to graduate on time because I transferred. So I was a little behind. But I still wanted to be involved in like esports and the MLG. I was going to MLG a lot. So like, if I can't play anymore, how can I still, you know, be part of the scene? So I started looking for, I wanted to combine what I was doing at school. So I went to school for English writing and communication. So I was like, let's see how we can mix this together. So I started reaching out to different esports news places like ESFI World.
Oh wow, that's a throwback.
They're defunct now, but I reached out to them, and I was working with NESL, and I was really getting into StarCraft at the time. So I knew I wanted to write about StarCraft. So, you know, just sent a message to ESFI World. I was like, hey, do you guys have a spot for me? I really want to learn how to do some reporting and articles and just work with the news team. And they brought me on, Brett, and I met the team, and it was really fun. I had a chance to really work on some articles I was proud of. I did a bunch of pieces on like Jinro and TLO, and my stuff was getting a lot of traction because people liked that I sort of gave a personal twist on it and let people get to know the player. So I did like Jinro's retirement article, and people really liked that because it's just stories about them, right? So I was able to bring to esports writing a personal, creative side, being more than just, you know, recaps and press releases. That's what I really liked, and I wanted to keep going. But StarCraft, you know, it was kind of faltering with the whole. I started working at IPL, and then you know what happened with IPL, like IPL Pro League. So I was like, what am I gonna do? And somebody I worked with at IPL, he started working at Riot, and he really liked working with me. We did a lot of shows together, a lot of articles, coverage, and so he wanted to bring me on to be a contributor with LoL Esports. And so that was great. I did that for like a year. I was doing a lot of interviews with players, recaps. I did a piece on like how League of Legends was like growing esports. This was like before League of Legends had really exploded, right?
Yeah, because when I messaged you, it was around. So when I started writing League esports content, it was like season 4. So I don't think League was really what it is now back then.
Yeah, it's totally. It's crazy how big it's gotten, but it was such a good learning experience, and like that was like what esports was. It still is, right? It's a lot of times people, when they think of esports, they think of the LCS, and I felt really blessed to have that experience to work with them and have my stuff published on their site. But eventually it came time to like really think about the future and seeing if I wanted to move up. And so there's an opportunity to go to like interview with Riot in California, in Santa Monica, but that would require, you know, moving if I kept going further in the interview process. And so that's when I was like, I don't think I want to do that. I'm not ready to move. I'm like a family person. It was really, really hard for me to.
And you were young.
Yeah. I didn't feel like it was the right step. So I stayed home, and that's when I just really worked on building up my portfolio and figuring out what I wanted to do, because I had the opportunity to write with Riot, and that's like, you know, the number one, right? And
yeah. Do you ever
what I want.
Do you ever look back and you're like, man, should I have taken that job? Like,
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh man, what if I did that? Like, I can't even fathom really living in California and stuff.
Yo, but that's where esports is.
I know, I know. Of course, like I've got my eye on Cali, but I'm really scared. I'm super close to my family, my sister, my mom, my dad, and my line of work. I do a lot of travel, so I feel like it doesn't matter where I'm located because I'm always on a flight anyway. But that that whole experience sort of set me up for me sending a really good resume to Echo Fox when they were looking for a social media coordinator.
Some little not well known esports org.
Echo Fox, and I just shoot my shot. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
And then they really liked me and they brought me on, and that was one of the best experiences of my esports life. To be honest.
One of the best. I mean, like you own your own org, so I feel like isn't that
one of the best? like, okay, definitely owning an org is amazing, but it would not have happened, and I know this, without what I did on Echo Fox. I made so many connections there, right? With like AJ, and AJ's cool, great AJ. He was former manager of Evil Geniuses, and he was working with Echo Fox, and he just took me under his wing and really helped me see a lot of things from the player perspective, the manager perspective, and getting a different perspective of the business. And there's no way, I don't know, even like Echo Fox, that's where I got to know fighting games. Like before that, it was just for fun. I played a little bit here, but I never actually experienced fighting game.
So how wild was it? Because like you come from like the more traditional esports background. Like even when you were doing Halo, that was kind of Halo's like heyday.
Yeah.
Because that was still the MLG days. Like not that Halo esports is gone, because like I hear it's like still kind of popping a bit. But like you were doing it during its heyday. You were doing StarCraft right before the fall. You're doing League right before the come up. So like here you've got, this nice glitchy shiny box of esports. Like this is what it's supposed to look like. And all the teams, they know what they're doing. And then you go do the FGC and it's like going to nursery school.
It was something else. Like the first event I ever went to, they sent me to E-League to work with Taquito with the Street Fighter thing they had there. And
the first or the second invitational? Was it the first one?
I think it's the first one.
The one with Gutex?
Yeah, no.
If Gutex wasn't there, then it was the second
I'm not sure. It might have been the second one.
Okay.
But I went there and like I didn't really know who Taquito was. I really didn't know much about fighting games, but I wanted to learn. I was really eager to learn. And I was just so blown away by people like Justin Wong, AJ, Eduardo, Gamer B. They all were so nice to me and teaching me all about it, telling me about the game. And I really got to know them and like saw what they were about. And the interesting thing, we talked about this a little bit earlier, is like they were a lot older than what I'm used to in esports. Because, like,
especially when you were doing League, like no one was over 20.
They're all so young. Yeah, a lot of people are really young. And so when I came to fighting games, these were guys who had like full-time jobs, families, and they're still making it work. So it's really interesting to me. A lot of times people like in Halo and League, people would like give up school, their job, and really grind, right? Like that was what they wanted to do. And for FGC, a lot of people were still working, and they didn't see fighting games as like, this is where I'm going to make my money, this is where I'm going to go big. It was kind of just like, they love the game, they love coming to events together, and they were just using their money to like come to some events, and they got sponsored because they were great. They had great branding, but it was definitely different than the other games I was like with Echo Fox. I was a social media coordinator on paper, but with a lot of esports orgs, you end up wearing like tons of hats. So I was ending up going to events and working with, I went to like Gears of War, like so many different events for different games. And FGC definitely had characters or people with stories that stuck out to me. And they just came across as really understanding the business of it all. Like knowing how to brand yourself, how to get sponsors, And it was a lot different than what I was used to with like MOBA players or the younger players.
Yeah.
You know, are still growing up. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean that's like the cool thing, like, because we were talking a little bit before the show, folks, and like one of the things that we kind of hit on is that the difference between the FGC and esports is, you know, these, like, to be on a league team, for those of you that don't follow league, you have to be like one of the like top 1 percentile players to be on these teams, and that involves playing and playing and being the top of the ladder. Like, we make jokes about ranked in FGC because it doesn't really mean anything, because netcode is garbage, and, you know, people be doing some wild stuff online that you would never see at a tournament. But like in League, that's all you have to prove yourself. Especially nowadays, there's no combo breaker for League, right? Like, you can't go to a random tournament, come in first, and people be like, "Oh my god, this guy's the best jungler in the world."
It's like the barrier to entry is, you know, you can go to any tournament.
Yeah. So for a lot of these, so that's why a lot of these people are young. They like, you can't compete until you're 16 in League of Legends. So a lot of them, they finish high school, and then they shoot their shot. They like try to get on a team. Whereas like there is no barrier of entry for Evo. I watched a girl who was like 7 years old, like whoop people in Marvel Infinite, like.
Right.
So.
And then with like the MOBA, the landscape now is like, you know, franchising, and it's difficult to get on a team. Whereas with fighting games, it's just, you know, you and your opponent. That's another thing. Like, as a team owner, I was really careful to not. I really didn't want to get into team games first, because that's a lot for me to handle as somebody who doesn't have a lot of team experience, team management experience. So I knew I wanted to deal with, you know, FGC. It's a lot simpler than 5v5 mobile game or something.
Yeah. So all right. So your first FGC event is that E-League event, which is, you know, an invitational, so it's a little bit different than a regular FGC event. Now, I don't know what you went to between E-League and EVO, because I saw you at EVO. Did you go to another, like, more traditional event between the two? Or do you remember?
So, when I was at E-League, I was, like, telling AJ and Justin, I was like, oh my god, this fighting game is so fun. And I was like, I love it. The crowd is crazy. And then AJ and Justin were like, this isn't FGC, you know. This is like a studio. Everybody has like seats. Be quiet. You can't like. It was production. And I was just like, oh, okay. And they're like, yeah. So you got to go to like combo breaker final round. And they were like, even Evo is not like, you know, the super grassroots thing that they wanted you to experience. I was gonna go to combo breaker, but then I think there was something like with something with my family, so I couldn't make it. So then my second one was Evo, and that was like...
Yeah, I remember seeing your face at Evo. You and Sky just kind of like looking like deers in the headlights.
I was like, this is amazing. I loved it. The Mandalay Bay, where they have the finals on Sunday, that's crazy. It's so huge. Like, I've never experienced anything like that. A whole stadium like that with like MLG, they create this like little main stage with like skates and stuff, but never in like a...
Oh, that's right, because by the time you left League of Legends was before League started like booking real venues.
Right.
I keep forgetting that, like, even though you did League first, you were doing League when League still kind of looked like FGC.
Right.
Where like League was doing their like finals at PAX.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, for LCS and LEC and the EU LCS. EU LCS was at what's that freaking? There's like the big PAX like event in like Berlin or whatever. Gamescom? Yeah, Gamescom. They would do some of their stuff at Gamescom, and Riot would do spring finals at the studio and summer finals at PAX West.
Oh my god. That's so long ago.
So yeah, it is, because I forget that like there was a point where League of Legends finals wasn't, you know, in Madison Square Garden or, you know.
Right. Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, when I was working at IPL, oh my God, how many years ago? That was when I was like really into StarCraft, and at that time, League was still kind of like it was like
adorable.
They set up like a league tournament before the StarCraft stuff, so they like stuffed them in. They stuffed all the league people in this ballroom that was meant for StarCraft, and I was like, who are these guys? What is this game? And I was like, oh, it's League, and like they were all these people who were like super famous now, right? Like Dyrus, like all of them were in this little ballroom, and there was like very few fans. It was really.
Yeah, they tell the story of like the first Worlds. One of my favorite things I love talking to Rivington about is that the first Worlds was like a throwaway event at another event where like there was maybe a couple hundred people in the audience. So because like Riv always talks about like how crazy it is for him to go from that to like selling out Wembley Stadium or what is it, the Sky Nest in China. Like that's insane.
Right. I know, and at this time, this was like the event where like Dyrus had his pillow on stage. He still had his pillow. He brought his pillow on stage, and I was like, "Are you serious?" Like when I saw him, I didn't know much, right? So I was like, "Are you serious? You're a pro player, and you bring your pillow on stage?"
Oh yeah, Mr. Pillow. So yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this. Like you guys, you know, FGC. You guys look at League of Legends as like, you know, prim and proper suit and tie. But, like, the players back in the day used to be wildin'. Like, they were, like, FGC level of, like pork chop level of troll. Dyrus went on stage once wearing a suit of armor.
Oh, my God. I remember in, like, it was, like, the odd one was super goofy as well. Like, the whole TSM.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the odd one got scurvy, folks. Think about that. A pro League of Legends player got scurvy because all he ate was junk food and drank soda.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't hear about that? That was back when they lived in New York.
I don't want to know about that.
Yeah, right before the... Story time, folks. Right before the LCS, before like League was super big, TSM was like the first American team to have a team house. And so it was a bunch of like 20-somethings who has never lived by themselves living in a house together. Dyrus almost exploded the apartment using the microwave. Odd One got scurvy. Like, shit was crazy, by the way. Her audio... I can't help her audio because it's...
Better? Here, better.
Is it better now? Because she's maxed out on my end, guys.
Okay, I put it closer to my mouth and I raised the volume. Okay, good.
Okay. So yeah. So...
Oh, sorry. At that time, like, Dyrus was having this pillow, and he was just like, TSM had this like really rookie feel, and they were like really fun. People liked them a lot because they showed their personality a lot. Every single one of them. You know, that was when Chaox was still on the team, and it's so long ago. And I just remember that Dyrus made a guest appearance on like Live on 3. Mm-hmm. And he was like the sole representative of League of Legends. I was like, are you kidding me? You're bringing this kid who likes this freaking pillow and you're going to have him represent League of Legends on the show, which I really loved, Live on 3. But then, I don't know, Reginald put them through like a lot of PR training. They grew up. They started realizing, you know, they have to really... You can be silly and rookie and goofy, but you can package it together to still be appealing to the fans and your sponsors and your team. And that's what Dyrus really, like, he's somebody I really respect, that he grew into this figure, and he's now like, I can't believe he used to be like the pillow kid.
Oh yeah, he's mad dope now, and he plays fighters. He's like super into fighting games now. He like played, when they announced Eunice for EVO, he was playing Eunice on stream and complaining about...
Yeah. No, he played at EVO.
Did he?
EVO, didn't he?
Oh yeah, no, he did. But like, man... Things is wild. I know y'all came here thinking it was going to be just about FGC.
Oh my God.
We've been doing... Look, y'all don't know anything about the show if you thought it was just going to be about fighting games. That's not what we're... Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah. Someone's talking in chat. He did play Tekken also. Like, he's super into Tekken. Yeah. He loves that game.
Yeah, I heard. I saw. It's so cool to see, like, all these...
Yo, that's the Equinox mashup. Joey Fury and Dyrus.
I know that Shangles does play with Dyrus, so that's pretty cool. I think I've so many influencers have been coming into Tekken, and I think it's great. One of which was Dyrus, and I just hope they keep coming out to more events. I think it would be awesome.
Yo, we just need to convince Dyrus that, like, there's more than Evo. Could you imagine Dyrus being at CEO?
Or Combo Breaker?
Or Combo... Ooh. And the dude lives in Texas, so it's not like he can't make it out to these things. Go to Texas Showdown. Dyrus, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, but if you are, Texas Showdown. It's not far from where you live.
Yeah. So I think that's just a testament, right, to like the mass appeal of fighting games. Even people like League of Legends streamers want to play it, and they really like it. They're not playing it just because
it's cool, because it's not. I mean, it is. It is cool.
Oh yeah, Forsen was playing as well. 444 Forsen playing Cat. 444.
Yeah, unfortunate character selection there.
It's okay. It's okay. I love when anybody who's not a typical Tekken player, FGC player, I love when they cross over, play.
Oh yeah, I love seeing people, like, one of my favorite things is like when you're like watching a stream and your favorite streamer is like, yo, I'm gonna boot up some Tekken or some like Street Fighter or whatever, and you're like, and then you see the number drop and you're like, I'm the loyal one. I'll stay for this good ass Tekken. And then they pick a character like Kat, and I'm like, of course.
Just easy. She's super easy. She's good for new people who don't need crazy fundamentals.
Look, I'm a struggling Armored King player. All right.
Oh God, that's very difficult.
It is, but at least I don't have to backdash.
Yeah.
I have Jaguar Step.
You stick or controller pad.
I
use hitbox, so like backdashing is very difficult for.
Wait, you don't have the cross up or whatever it is?
No,
the cheat.
No way. Okay, cross up is crazy because there's too many buttons on it for a noob like me. Like, it's what I equate it to is, okay, like think of a DSLR camera, right? You pay all this for a DSLR camera. There's so much you could do with it, like with aperture, the focus, and lighting, and this and that. And then, like, but me, I just take that DSLR, and that's all I need. I put it on autofocus. And I'm like, okay, that looks good. But like, and that's like, with a cross-up, I'll just hit the buttons. Like, I wouldn't know what I could possibly achieve with it, like electrics and all that. It's definitely for somebody who already knows what they're doing. It's not for a noob.
All right.
It's advanced, crazy advanced tech.
So let's say you woke up one day and you were a Tekken god. Okay. What would be the character you wish you were playing?
Okay, who is like the coolest character that people play? Like, it just looks cool. Yoshimitsu.
The Yoshi at Tekken World this year?
I'm musician.
Yeah, I'm musician. I was like, you know what my dream matchup is? I want to see I'm musician versus Boom now.
Boom? Boom plays Yoshi too.
In SoCal. So I want to see them like, because it's not that different of a moveset. So I want to see Boom versus I'm musician in Soul Calibur, and then they play each other in Tekken, and then they have to like random select in another game if it like.
I would watch that.
Yo, when did y'all watch that? Oh wait, we got Yoshi Main in the chat too. Like, see? Yeah, Yoshi's a little too technical for me.
Oh, Yoshi or Master Raven, those two are the coolest. Like, if somebody knows what they're doing with Master Raven, it's like, you just like, your eyes like, what the heck? It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love watching characters that, like, I wish I could do it, but I just stick to the easy execute ones.
So wait, did you like start with like Paul, where you're like, oh man, just like big body damage?
Who did I start with? I can't remember. I started with Lars. I just didn't understand it at all. Oh my god. And then I switched to Asuka. She's super straightforward and easy to understand. Yeah. And then now I'm Kasumi. And then I'm also playing Jack. Just straightforward. I'm very straightforward, very honest. Just boom boom like that. Fancy.
Look, I can't judge you because I play like Abigail in Street Fighter, and that's like literally the most straightforward a fighting game can get.
That's what I like. Straightforward.
Like, look, guys, I cover 6 esports for a living. I ain't got time to learn buttons. Let me just baby toss you for like half your health.
Yeah. So something interesting that they're talking about in chat is like, I wanted to stream like the journey from a true noob, right? Like, I never really played, like, the last time I played Tekken was like Tekken 3 way back when. And so I wanted to stream it for them, and people have been super nice about it. There's some people who are mean, of course, but it's been super fun, like showing the journey and like actually showing the process of learning a combo or like actually hitting the combo. So it's been a really rewarding experience going into Tekken.
I enjoyed watching those streams. I mean, I still, well, that sounds weird because like I still watch your stream, but like watching you develop from like pure noob, like no fighting game knowledge really whatsoever, to like as good as you are now. Because like, especially with a game like Tekken's not an easy game. Like Tekken and Guilty Gear are like pretty up there on like the most complicated fighting games I think that are like out right now, as in like, you know, they still have like a supportive fan base. And like everyone is always like, oh, I'll never learn a fighting game, like those things, they look too difficult. And like you showed that like you can learn it. It's hard, but it's not like becoming a grandmaster in chess where like you probably can never do it. Like you can learn Tekken. It's not rocket science.
Honestly, even if you wanted to learn Grandmaster chess, it's never too late, right? It's never too late to just learn. You might not be like pro level, but at least you could have a grip and have fun at locals. So I heard, this is so random, but it makes me think of this. I read an article about like this 100-year-old lady in Japan, and the reporter asked her, what regrets do you have, right? Mm-hmm. And so her answer was, if I had started playing violin when I was 60, I would be playing violin for 40 years by now. So like, you know, it's never too late to just start like something. If you want to do Master Chess, go for it. And Tekken, people are like, you are like 10 years behind, but you know, you can still learn and have fun. And like the resources are more readily available now for a noob. Like I feel super lucky. A lot of people
you've got Reddit, you've got all the Discords.
Yeah, so exactly. And because of my work with Echo Fox, I was able to network with a lot of players, and a lot of them have been super nice about it, teaching me. They'll come into my stream and teach me and give me the tech. And a lot of times, you know, if you don't have the resources, it could take you a long time to learn a game if you're just learning by yourself. So I've been very lucky with it, I feel, and I feel very, very, very lucky.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, and this is for you guys out there, too, a lot of pros, for the most part, are, like, pretty down to talk. I know this is, like...
Game?
Yeah, in fighting games. Yeah. Like, I know that this is somewhat off-topic, because you kind of brought it up. It's like, you sort of hear that a lot. You know, you'll see on Twitter someone be like, oh, I saw, like, Sonic Fox at an event, and I didn't go up and say hi. Or I saw, you know... Snake Eyes, and I could have played sets of him, but, you know, he's got better things to do.
Yeah.
Not really. Like...
No.
They'll play sets with you. It'll be dope. You might get your booty rocked, but like...
You might get your booty rocked, but they're, like, you know, they're definitely more approachable. They're easier to talk to. A lot of FGC people are super active on Twitch and will answer questions. So what I've noticed, is with FGC, people are really approachable. Like at Echo Fox as well, I was super close with the fighting game guys because they were just very personable. And I talked with AJ and Justin. I was like, why does it seem like fighting game communities seem to be less socially awkward, better at communicating with one another, more social? And they're like, it's because of, you know, the arcade culture. You had to come out to an event and you're next to your opponent and you have people around you. Whereas with like MOBA, League of Legends, CSGO, you're often on your own computer in your room, anonymous, right? Just you on your computer grinding games. And that's how you can get better most of the time. But with fighting games, you have to come out. You should come out. That's how you're going to get better. And oftentimes you have to deal with a lot of people. You socialize a ton. And that's why a lot of times that community, it's very friendly. They talk a lot. You know, they know how to welcome you in. Whereas a PC culture is often behind a screen, right?
Yeah. Nope. That I mean, it makes sense. No. I don't mean to crap on PC players, but like that's what I noticed. The difference between PC culture being behind a screen and how they interact with each other versus being literally next to your opponent playing with each other. I agree. I mean, because it's true. Like, if you go out to an event, you have to interact with other people, right? Like,
Yeah.
Even at like the bare minimum, you have to interact with your bracket runner, right? Like, at the very minimum, there's at least one person you have to interact with. And then, like, as the day goes on, you have to, like, interact with other people. If you, like, find out you made it into round 2 and you have to play, like, a Fang, you're like, man, I don't know anything about Fang. And you start, like, asking like, your peeps that maybe you went with, like, your best friend. And you're like, hey, do you know any Fang players? And he introduces you to somebody, so you start playing some sets with some other dude. Like, that's just the organicness
exactly
of fighting games, and I akin it on my side of the spectrum to like Magic the Gathering, which is very similar too. You like Magic Online is ass. Arena is a new thing that is less ass, but only has standard, and that format sucks. So where do you get all of your reps in? You go to your local card shop. You have to interact with other people. I'm super bad against playing against red decks, so I used to have a friend who was like, all he did was play mono red. And so I would be like, hey, come over to my apartment. I'll, like, make food, and we can, like, mash this matchup out. And we would play, like, 100 games.
Yeah.
Like, in a week, we would have played 100 games. Like, it's the same concept. You find the people. You have to interact with them.
Training partners. Yeah, I'm trying to think about, like, practice with a League of Legends, but it's usually just like a big 5v5 scrim, right?
Yeah, you try to do in-houses. That was like, I remember I used to do a lot of, that's how I got better at League eventually, was I just played in-houses with friends.
Yeah.
I don't know if you all in the chat, and in-house is what it sounds like. It's a custom game where it's you and 9 other people that you know.
It's not
playing.
Like grinding ranked or something.
Yeah, you can't earn EXP for your account. You don't earn in-game currency. It's literally either to goon and like just have fun, or it's also a really great way to like get better if like you and a group of people are all trying to level up. You can do in-houses to like be able to look back at things. So I would always ask one of my friends who was like plat who was a top lane main to play specifically against me, so I could like get exposed. So I could like learn how to be a better laner.
That's the best way. That's like one of the best
ways. I would get mad tilted at the time. I'd be like, this motherfucker, I just wanna CS, let me CS. And then he'd be like, you understand it's because you don't know trading stances. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And then it was explained to me, and it was literally like a whole new world.
I know, you just need that moment to like really grasp it, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel talking to Little Majin, because I'm trying to learn Armored King. And every time he tells me a thing or does a thing on stream, I'm like, oh, that's how it's supposed to work. Huh. Yeah,
it took me a really, really long, I'm so embarrassed about it, but it took me a really long time to understand, like, punish. You know, it's so, fighting games is so simple, yet so complicated. Like, just punish, you know, block. Okay, some moves you have to block and wait. Sometimes you can't push a button. It's like so, if you think about it, it's really simple, but even me, like, I couldn't grasp that concept. And also, like, you're so used to, like, Overwatch or League, that's where I come from, and you have 4 spells, right? And you like 4 spells, and you don't really have to combo stuff. You combo, like, maybe, like, you know, QWE or whatever.
Yeah.
But like with like fighting games, you have to be so precise. You have to make sure it's right, and it's tough. It's rough out here in the streets for new, but it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun, surprisingly, because I get tilted really easily. But it's super fun.
You get tilted, Emily? I never would have known. You know, as a lifelong viewer of your stream. From the Death Blossoms days to your FGC grind, I have never seen Emily tilt on stream. Have you, chat?
There used to be a jar on my stream, and every time I swore I had to put money in it, and at the end of the year I put it towards a charity. But then after that, I like kept doing it. I was like, oh my god, I'm constantly putting money in this thing.
Immediately after I said that, chat has a Kappa Never and Brooklyn put tilt in the chat. So like, it's a little thing that everybody knows about you.
Yes.
Everybody.
Foul mouth.
So, you know, we haven't talked about the Equinox formation.
Sure.
One, I assume it's not an embarrassing story for where the name Equinox came from, right?
It's a little. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this story. Do you want to know where it started then? The name.
Yeah, sure.
So we actually didn't start as Equinox at all. We started as something else, and fighting game fans will probably like shudder when they hear this name. Empire. We were Empire first. And apparently, there's another team before us who was called the same name, and they were the same colors, black and yellow, and apparently they had a rough reputation.
Chat already goes Empire.
Yeah, so I wasn't around during that time, so I don't know anything about Empire, the Empire that was here, and the reputation around the people. And so somebody was like, whoa. You can't go further than this. You gotta change some stuff. And I was like, oh my God, thank God you guys told me this before I started getting really into it. Because Timo and I had been working already for like a month on like designs. So we're like, we can't do this. Like it's not worth it to go with a brand that you need to like be like, no, we're the new one, you know? Like we're not.
Oh, you mean like what's going on in like CS:GO and stuff right now, where there's all these people like buying up old orgs and being like, we're the new Red Reserve. We're not those guys that owe their players $70,000.
Yeah,
nah, we're a completely different org.
Exactly, and it doesn't help that the name was similar and the colors were similar, and we were all in fighting games. So I was like, no, we got to do something else. So for a long time, I really was like thinking, and back then, one of our symbols was like a horse, and so I was thinking like, okay, let's get kind of cool and deep with it when horse stuff. So like the like prefix for horse stuff is like equi, right?
Yeah.
Equi. And then so I was just thinking like, okay, let's like think about like, so I was really into like celestial stuff. So AJ and I, we're thinking really hard about what we could do. So I put together the words Equinox, right? Not because of the whole word Equinox, but because of the prefix, right? Equi. And then we added the Nox later to just make it about like this concept about balance. So it's like about dark and light, moon, sun. It's about opposite. And I thought that was really cool. We were supposed to be Empire, but
I just like how you said that you guys used to have one of your symbols used to be a horse. And
a lot of things changed.
a lot of things have changed from the horse days to now.
Yeah, so we had a horse. It was black and yellow. It was Empire. Yeah, we went in a very different direction.
Yo, I'm all about the blue and gold now, though.
Yeah,
those are like not used enough colors in esports.
Yeah, I was nervous about it at first, but I felt like it was right. I really love the navy. I love the gold, and I felt like we could still. You could have like a really plain jersey, right, jacket, but if you have like navy and gold, you could really make it pop, right?
Yeah.
But still have a simple jacket, and that's something that is really important for me with Equinox is keeping things minimal but still super effective.
Yeah, and it also like reflects well on your players. Like when I first saw like Joey Fury in like the baseball jersey, I was like, that fits him. You know, it's not like when I first saw Nembo wearing a Team Liquid jersey. I was like,
yeah, that's a problem with a lot of these sublimated jerseys. I just feel like they lack a lot of character because they're all so similar. And it's really hard to find a really nice one that's made that's really different. Like one of the ones I thought was a great jersey that was sublimated is the Echo Fox camo ones. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, no.
It's like V-neck camo.
My favorite Echo Fox jersey, and I'm so mad I never got one, was the Miami Vice soccer jersey.
Yeah.
The soccer one, the one that Sonic Fox still wears to this day. That one is clean. Screw hockey jerseys. I don't mess with no winter sports. Y'all crazy. I'm already a big person. You put a hockey jersey on me and I look like I weigh like an extra 100 pounds.
It was huge on me. It's like a graduation gown on me. But I thought that's a kind of sublimated jersey I thought was a really unique and special. So with Equinox, with our jersey, I just wanted to do something simple but still look really nice. So we were so lucky that we had a vendor back in Philly that had been around for years in our neighborhood, and they helped us make that, the Equinox tackle twill thing on the chest, and that ended up like people really loved it. Like it did exactly the job. It got so many eyes on us at CEO, and it's become really integral to our brand. Like that simple jersey. Man, just thinking about the past, where we've come, how far we've come.
In like what, like 2 years?
2 years, about June 2020 would be 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Even the chat is saying your jersey is sick. Look.
Thanks.
I will eventually pick one up. It's really weird for me to pick up jerseys because like I'm press, and the only time I would wear an esports jersey is at an esport event. Yeah. And you can't wear one when you're working, so it's like
right.
That didn't stop me from buying an NYXL jersey, and that's because I don't cover Overwatch really, and I gotta rep that New York squad.
I want the Spark one for obvious reasons.
Wait, which? Oh, one. I have their trans rights one, or that's what everybody calls it. They're when they did this thing towards the end of last season called their third kits. So they allowed the teams to like work with like different brands to like come up with a new design. They're pretty sick. So it's
trans though?
Well, we call it trans rights because it's the same type of pink and blue from like the trans pride flag, and it's like on a black background. It looks really sick.
I have to check it out. For who? What team?
For the Spark.
Yeah, they do branding really well.
You live in Florida. You got one of the sickest brands for Overwatch League. You got the Florida Mayhem. Their shit is popping.
Mayhem?
Yeah.
They're with
Misfits.
Misfits. Thank you. I couldn't say the word. Yeah, I really like their stuff. I haven't really been able to get into Overwatch as a fan just because my mind is always on fighting games. But I used to be a huge fan. My family is a big Overwatch fan. So they just had like this thing back in Philly, like Fusion. Which is really cool. Go ahead.
No, I was saying,
it's, I don't know. I just wish that these things existed when I was like a super competitive gamer, right? Because this stuff wasn't around then.
Hey, Dater, don't you pick on the Spitfire, all right? Like, look, I'm a Cloud9 fangirl through and through. I get it. Y'all are mad that you don't have any British players on the London Spitfire. It's kind of embarrassing to be a Spitfire fan sometimes because like we just forget how to play Overwatch. Look, it's okay. One day we'll be good again, and until then, I've got the New York Excelsior. It's fine. It's fine. Y'all gotta roast my teams out here. This happens like every week. Somebody comes in and low-key smack talks one of my esports teams. Not intentionally, they just do it because they're like, oh, haha, this team. They don't know that I like the team. And so for like the last 3 episodes, people have like come into chat and roasted my teams.
Spitfire then. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll persevere. I can support Equinox. No, this has been going for like the last like 51 minutes. You're a little late, fan. It's okay.
Yeah, that's how the name Equinox started. It was not born out of like some epic, like meaningful thing. Like it's not that good of a story. We picked a horrible name and we needed to remedy it. And this was what seemed like what fit. And you know, it was perfect. It just happened. That's how a lot of things happen with Equinox. It just happens. Like I don't have a special story.
Emily, you can't tell the chat that there's no plan.
There's a plan for something. What did you?
Chat. She plans everything out epically before making any decision.
Every decision I make is super thought out, and there's a secret manual nobody can know about. But what I just told you is a farce.
Well, like, because there's like this illusion, right? That like if you want to run an org, Aziza talks about this with dynamic focus a lot. That like you can plan and plan and plan, but a lot of the stuff that happens, it just happens, right? You know,
Exactly.
you don't know that this idea that you have is gonna take off. You don't know that
Right.
how
Honest.
things are gonna go, right? You have a
Yeah.
hope, or you guys have like an inkling, but it's still just like you and Timo and the crew just like talking back and
Yeah.
forth, and then like, wouldn't it be cool if we did this?
Yeah.
And luckily, none
Yeah.
of the wouldn't it be cool blank hasn't backfired yet.
No, like I say this often. I try to keep things so simple, right? And that's just we want to do cool things with cool people who like-minded individuals. So the stuff that happens, it's like it just happens. Like I just was like, I kind of want to do like a dojo where we send somebody to the finals. And I was like, okay, where can we do this? We need a place. Okay. It's like Wednesday night fights. There's Fighting Tuesday. And then I got to know Majin Obama. I met Majin Obama and Giuna in Japan. And I just it felt right. And I was like, hey guys, I just DM'd him. I straight up hey guys, you want to do dojo together? I was like, we're happy to have the winner come out and represent Equinox at the LCQ. And then Majid Obama and Gina were so great. They were like, yeah, we're on board. And it was so simple. Like, sent some graphics, and it was so easy. Like, you work with people who understand your vision and what you're trying to do, and they understand the expectations. It just happens so well.
Yeah, I'm gonna give an anecdote here, folks. For example, I think my overlay looks pretty good for the show. I think it fits the branding and like what I want to do with the show, and it fits like my personal branding a lot.
Like vaporwave.
Yeah, because I usually do the pink hair, and like it's very simple, and it fits what I want, which is that classic arcade feel, right? The classic gaming. You get together with people, you shit talk while you game. That's like kind of the low-key vibes I want to give.
Retro. It's like retro, but still modern.
Yeah. That was just me talking with my graphics person who I've been friends with for like 3 years. Like, she heard I lost my job, and she was like, hey, I want to like help you launch a project, and one of the hardest things when you launch a project is graphics. Yes. So like, I'll do you come up with all the names and shit, and I'll just like make it.
Yeah.
And that's how I got all this. Like, surround yourself with dope people, and like shit gets real easy real quick.
Yes, like
do things as a team.
Do things as a team, exactly. Like, I don't know where I would be without my friends, or like the support we have, or the network that we've created. Like, every decision that I make at Equinox, I try to figure out myself, and then if I can't, I always have my people, that can help me. You need those people, or you're gonna lose your mind. Like, you need people who support you, look out for you, and understand what you're trying to accomplish. And that's one of the best things that I've done with Equinox, is just like working with people I like.
Yeah.
And so far it's been great. I very, very, very few problems in the past 2 years, and I just think it's basically like doing stuff with people that you like.
Yeah.
Easy to work with people who understand.
So chat, we've been at this for an hour. My favorite thing to do is we actually have a somewhat interactive chat tonight. So do you have anything that y'all want to ask Emily? Is there any burning questions you have?
Yeah.
That you want to ask her?
Who's in here?
We got a couple people. We got Comet Storm. We got Beyond S. Or I can't read without my glasses on.
Bjorn. There are a lot of my viewers here. Hi, guys.
Yeah, we told y'all to come out, and you came out. We appreciate it.
Yes. They are super supportive of FGC and my streams.
Ooh, Comet Storm has a good one. What motivated you to start Equinox? I'm not sure if this was already answered. It wasn't really...
It was not really answered.
We didn't really ask it.
So, I was coming to a place on Ecofox, and I came to a point where I felt like I either needed to move up or I needed to move on. Like, I couldn't be a social media coordinator for much longer. I felt like it was time. I had an opportunity again to for a new job with Overwatch League, actually. So I was planning on moving to California for Overwatch League, but again, it happened where no, I don't want to go to California. So I was like, I can't. I'm not ready to move yet. And so I talked to my parents, my dad. I'm really close to my dad. He teaches me a lot about business and everything. And so I just came to realize like I was in a super, super unique position where I could start something like this and then do it the way that I thought was best. Because at Echo Fox, I didn't have much say or power. I just did what I was told and I did the best that I could. And oftentimes I felt like they had such great players, but they didn't do a lot of personal pieces on them. Like the one thing that we did that was so huge that people loved was Momo. They did a romantic video about showing how Momochi and Chocoblanca met. And that's the kind of stuff I wanted to accomplish with Equinox. Oh, sorry. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
I pulled my head. So it just came, like I saw how Echo Fox was run, and then I wanted to, maybe I could try this myself, and it was like now or never. It seemed like the only time I could do this, and I wanted to make sure that we did it right with the players in mind, doing things organically, trying to grow the FGC, because I feel like there's so many great personalities in the FGC. The game is great. It's super easy to watch for a viewer compared to like
StarCraft
or League of Legends. Is super hard. And like even my parents could see fighting and be like, oh, it's two people fighting and the bar up top. So it has a lot of potential to be mainstream. And also, this is an interesting thing. It also has mainstream appeal with like collegiate stuff because it's not shooting. This is interesting. Like a lot of collegiate leagues like to get into MOBAs or Rocket League or like fighting games because the violence isn't towards with weapons, right?
Yeah.
So in general, fighting games just had a wide appeal, a lot of potential. It was cheap to get into. There were a lot of players with so much reach and so much potential that just didn't have the proper foundation support to really excel. So it just seemed like the right thing to do. Start a team. Crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but
no,
it's been a joy.
So we got a few more. We're gonna knock them out. We're gonna cap off at the ones in the chat. So Sayan wants to know, what do you think about the short-term and long-term future of esports?
Okay, short-term future. Oh, esports.
Yeah.
Esports. Ooh, that's
or do you just want to leave it at FGC?
No, I can do both. Short-term is a little scary because fighting games, esports, like Fortnite, everything is so big, so fast, and I don't know if the industry is so new, and it's scary because everything that's happening is new, and there's so much money funneling in right now, and it's kind of like the wild, wild west. So it's hard to say it's hard to say because it's exploding at an astronomical rate. And for me, short term, just trying to, build the org to have a proper, steady, stable foundation, and then just grow what we have. So I'm just talking about Equinox now. For us, short term, long term, a lot of people see growth and expansion with like bringing on new players, bringing more staff, bringing more games, new games, right? For me, I'm kind of happy with who we are at this moment. Nothing's ruled out. So I'm really focused on growing our current players because I feel pretty happy with the roster that we have. So short-term, long-term, I would just want to keep growing them. And if they're still with us, like when you're down the line and have progressed and feel like they're happy and accomplished, then that makes me happy.
Okay. So as someone who works in esports, I do have some chiming in, which is short term. I don't think anything's really going to change unless another Fortnite happens. I think Fortnite forced a lot of other esports to like rapidly make a new decision because there was so much money coming into Fortnite, and people were like, well, why isn't this in League? Why isn't this in Overwatch? Why isn't this like here? So it like put a lot of pressure on a lot of other esports to like go bigger, and that was a little scary from like an internal esports. Like for you as the fans, that must have looked so cool. Like everybody's now going big to match Fortnite. For those of us who work at esports, we were like, we don't have the stability for this.
No.
Chill. Relax. So like in the short term, I'm hoping everything just kind of like chills out, stabilizes. And then in the long term, I think with the way the like aging demographics are going, I think that we will see. I'm not one of those people that thinks that the esports bubble is going to burst. I don't think that we're going to see the rapid growth we've seen over the last 3 years. So I think in the last 3 years, things have gotten insane, right? We're talking like League of Legends selling out sports stadiums, you know, Overwatch
the
League.
Fortnite prize pools.
The Fortnite was at 3 million prize pool. Like that type of stuff, I don't think we're going to see that continue. I think everything's just going to grow to fit inside this really big bubble. And it's going to take some time, and it's going to make it look like the bubble is shrinking. But I think everything is... I don't think it's going anywhere because there's too much money in esports right now for it to just, like, .com burst, right? We're not going to have this thing where, like... It's not going to be like MLG. Like, I don't know how many of you remember MLG or, like, IPL disappearing. And everyone's like, oh, no, what's esports going to do now? I think because, you know, there's leagues, like Riot runs League, Blizzard runs Overwatch. There's some new CS:GO leagues that aren't with Activision. You know, there's fighting games, right? Most of the fighting games now have actual esports divisions in their companies.
And they have their own.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see this thing where everything just kind of boom disappears, but it might recede into itself just a little bit in the short and like the sort of medium term, and then we'll see some growth again. The next question is from Brooklyn AI, my boy. He wants to know if you have any interest in the Smash community.
I definitely have interest in Smash. I think Smash is an interesting game. I played it a lot when I was younger, and I really loved it, but that is like, I take new games and new players, like I take it really slow because I want to learn as much as I can about it, and Smash is kind of foreign to me. I haven't been part of that. I haven't played that game in so long. So of course I'm interested. I'm a little sad about the current talk about how, you know, Nintendo doesn't support the game. So that's like not reassuring for like somebody like me who is a team owner, because I love, you know, dev support is so important for games and for them to grow. So yes, in short, yes, the Smash community.
I mean, it's not surprising that it takes a lot of FGC. Like, look how long it took UIU to sign a Smash player, right?
Yeah.
It
people don't see it as like FGC sometimes, right?
I mean, on my show, it's a joke. Every Smash guest has to endure me making the party game joke. But like, it's a fighting game. Ultimate is way more of a fighting game than like Melee is.
Ultimate.
Yeah, because I feel like Melee's because it's balanced, right? Like, at Ultimate is balanced to be a fighting game, whereas like Melee is a party game, and there is a lot of things. Like, it's still dope to watch. Don't get me wrong, but it's people pushing a game to its limits to have its high peak of competitive integrity.
Okay.
But that's not a talk for today, because I will have that talk with a Smash person.
Yeah.
All right, we have one last question, which is, do you have any good advice for people that feel down when they don't feel like they are making any progress with what they're trying to achieve? Hope that's not too deep. It is not.
Not too deep. So this is something interesting. I've had a lot of people, not just players, that talk to me about how they can grow their stream, how they can grow their brand. They're like, why can't I get sponsored? Or they just feel like it's not happening. And oftentimes I'll see them and I'll be like, you know, it takes time and just keep going, right? Sometimes not seeing the immediate like reward for what you're trying to accomplish doesn't mean you're failing. So feeling down about that, it's not over, right? Why are you down? You still gotta go. You're still progressing. So like a lot of times, like, oh, my stream is just growing so slow. Like I only got one new viewer, but like that's progress and you're going in the right direction. And oftentimes people equate the slowness of their growth with failure, but that's not true. You're still working towards it. And so what I tell people is like, it's not over. Just keep going and do what you can, get the resources, figure out what your weaknesses are. It's kind of a general question, right? But about progress, it's progress. The journey is really important, and realize that it's about growth, and you're going to have a lot of setbacks, but just trying to understand that, see the good things, take the emotion out of it, and see like the good things you're doing and the bad things you're doing, and see how you can improve it. That's my answer.
So
sorry, sometimes I ramble.
No, you didn't. I don't think you rambled there. So one thing I will say is, we said it earlier on the cast, which is surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, imposter syndrome is a real thing, and sometimes we instinctively compare ourselves to somebody else, and we're like, example, right? Man, do I wish I had the YouTube subscribers that Born Free has. Right? Born Free thinks I do really good work, so that should be a benchmark for me to be like, oh man, so I should have, 60,000 YouTube subscribers. I don't. So it makes me think, oh, I must be doing something wrong, or I'm not doing good work. But when I did the Red Bull Conquest Tour, I met people who liked my stuff. People don't always comment on, like, your YouTube videos sometimes when you're a smaller creator, so you don't get that positive feedback. So you need to surround yourself, not with people who are going to kiss your ass. I definitely I do keep some ass kissers around because, sometimes it feels nice. But, like, you need people who can, like, hard body be like, nah, that interview you did, that was a blow. Like, nah, never again.
That's like how our relationships are, you and I. It was like, you send me articles and I gave you the straight feedback. And, like,
I want to talk about it. All right.
That's how it was.
But it was baby bird me.
But that's why I really liked you and respected you, is because you were clearly putting in the grind and the work. And oftentimes I'll notice people like, oh, I wish I could be better at this. I wish I could do this better. I am guilty of this, but they don't actively utilize the resources around them. And sometimes it's as simple as you emailing me and being like, hey, can you take a look at this?
Yeah. So guys, the thing that I said it was going to be a deep lore thing. I either tweeted at Emily, because this was like before Discord. This is like back when Esports was all on Skype. I don't know if I emailed Emily or I tweeted at her. And I was like, hi, I'm like a new League of Legends content creator. Can you give me some feedback on what I'm doing? I really want to get to where you are, because at the time, the pinnacle of writing about League of Legends was writing for Riot, because there was no site that was really paying a whole lot. We didn't have ESPN or anything like that at the time. And so Emily gave me some harsh feedback, but it was good feedback. And because I was used to getting feedback because I went to school for journalism, I was like, all right, this is stuff I can work on. Like, sometimes you gotta recognize that, like, you need strong feedback. And sometimes it's not going to be what you want to hear, right? Like, you're going to have this article that you think is the dopest, or you're going to think that this combo string looks really clean. And then, you show it to somebody and they're like, hey, man, that's not a real combo. Like, that's never going to work in tournament. That's never going to work in a match. And you have to, like Emily said, you got to, like, take the emotion out of it and be like, all right, cool. And then say, all right, if this doesn't work in tournament, what does? Never take it as just, like, a straight up negative. Be like, all right, is there something good here? Is it is my launcher good? Is that what's the problem? Like, what parts don't work? Because, like, don't take any feedback that's not positive as just instantly negative, because it's a starting point. If someone's giving you the time to give you real feedback, that's like, even if it's bad, like, it's like, hey man, this sucks. Yeah. That means that they cared enough. That means they cared enough, right? They cared enough to respond to you. So take that opportunity to be like, all right, well, he or she responded to me. Yeah. Maybe I can turn this into a dialogue. Maybe I can fix my combo string. Maybe I can fix the way I write my articles. Because, like, for example, I hit a milestone on my Patreon recently, which is I'm really proud of. And one of my friends said, like, oh, man, how do you have a successful Patreon? And I was like, have one for 3 years. Like, my Patreon started at $5.
Exactly.
My Patreon started at $5, and for the first 2 of the 4 years I've had my Patreon, it stayed at $10 a month.
Hey, that $10 is good.
$10 was great. It bought me. Yeah, it bought me food. But, like, it wasn't until recently that I grew my brand and showed people like, hey, I'm the real deal. I'm not going anywhere. Exactly. That's when it started taking pace. But like a lot of people think that if I don't get the success right away, that I'm not achieving anything. And like we're not all Sonic Fox, all right? We're not gonna pick up a new game and make pro players look like garbage, right? Like you gotta work at it, and you just gotta. When you feel yourself getting emotional about it, like struggling with it, like, oh man, I really like, oh, I did this video, I worked so hard on it, and it only got 50 views. Take a step back, take a deep breath, appreciate what you already did, because you're already proud of it, and then say, you know what? This opening wasn't strong, or you know what? My mic kind of sounds a little booty here, or whatever it is. The only way you're gonna improve is by being self-reflective. And sometimes that means you don't have to be mean to yourself, but you kind of can't just be in love with yourself. You gotta accept it. Ooh. Oh my god. Yo, for real? Retsor, for real?
That's Red Sev. Red Sev is my sole Patreon.
Red Sev, no, for real, man? That's so cool of you.
Thank you.
That's so cool. Thanks. Yes. That's a great place to end my stream. I don't think my stream can get any better.
What? Of course it can get better. Yes. Okay, this is a story I can tell you. Like, I streamed for like 2 years or a year and a half to just 2 people, okay? And one of those people was me, okay? Me and somebody else, okay? For a long time, I was grinding. And it was so hard to even just get more than 10 viewers. And, I've been streaming for so long. And just recently with Tekken, that's when I've been seeing a lot of traction with viewership. You just got to figure out what's working, figure out what's not working. If you've been doing it for like 5 years and you haven't, maybe then you got to really look at it critically. But you have to separate it and figure out what you can do better. So me, when I look back at stuff, go ahead.
Oh, what I was gonna say is that the joke that I make about the stream is that I mainly only stream this show, and the point of the neutral is I want to be able to talk to people and work on some of the stuff I'm really bad on camera, which is why you guys don't see me like look away from my webcam to read the chat, because one of my really bad on camera habits is I don't look at the camera. So like I use the show as a way to build repetitions. And that's so if 2 people come view the show, it's like, cool, 2 people. If I have 1 sub, it's 1 sub. It's more that I want to practice the stuff I want to work on and get to talk to people that I enjoy. So like, having you on, or like when I had D1 on, I've been friends with D1 since I was a games journalist, right? Like I want to focus on having fun, because so much of what I love doing with this content, I have to do to make money. So the neutral is my excuse to make content where the first and foremost thing is fun.
Fun, and that's important. You need to have something like that in your life. Constantly grinding, you're gonna be miserable.
Oh,
and burnt out super fast.
I don't know anything about burnout.
Burnout is a huge thing and a big problem in our industry.
Well, because everybody's turning something they love into a job, and then eventually you run out of things to do because your job is the thing you love. And so when you're mad at work, you're mad at your passion.
Yeah.
Right? And that sucks. That's why I have to take long breaks from League of Legends. I still love League. From the bottom, it gave me so many opportunities. I've made so many friends. I still really enjoy playing the game. But then then I get salty, and then I get tired of dealing with nonsense with esports orgs, and I'm like, Razafrazin, I hate League of Legends, and then I go and I sit play Soul Calibur for 10 hours. Yeah. But yeah, so burnout is a whole nother thing. But I get what you're saying. I just don't want you guys to think I'm not appreciative of getting subs, or I don't want subs. It literally isn't where my mind's at with the stream. I turn on the stream when I want to hang out with people, and I turn on the stream for the show.
I feel like that's when, a lot of times that's when good things happen, when you don't expect it, right? Or when you're just doing your thing. And a lot of times it works, people try really hard, they grind really hard. But it's also, sometimes you just get lucky, right? Sometimes, like, some people who are big now, maybe they got like a lucky host or something, or they're playing the right game at the right time. So a lot of it is luck. But in the meantime, you can just do what you can to go towards your goal. And a lot of people, they equate their success or like their progress with the end goal, right? I want 500 subs. And if they don't make it, they feel like they're inadequate. But the journey to 500 subs is extremely important, and you shouldn't accelerate it, right? That's my thought process. Organic growth that focuses a lot on the journey to get there.
On that train, since you know this is something that both of us know a lot about, so I don't mind the show going a little over on this. Set what we call achievable goals. So, and what that means is you want to set goals that you can honestly, realistically hit in a time frame. So, like, for example, I want everything. So, like, for example, when I first started writing League of Legends articles and I would put them on the subreddit, I would want one upvote. That was my original goal. Once I covered Worlds one year and I was hitting the front page all the time, then I was like, all right, I feel like I know what I'm doing now. My achievable goal for a League of Legends article is hit front page. I should hit front page of the League of Legends Reddit every time if I'm doing my job correctly. And I do. And so that's like, find something that you think is achievable. So if it's, I want to be able to hit launcher into this hit, every time, right? I don't play Tekken enough to like know all the terms. So like launcher into hit confirm, right? That's all I want to do. That's something you can figure out, right? You can do that. And then you're like, all right, what's the next part of that combo extension? Oh, it's this. All right, so now I got to get the rudimentary stuff out of the way again. Launcher, hit some more, right? Like you just want to keep building on those goals, but don't set them too high. Don't be like, I want to learn the max damage content.
I want to be JDCR by like next week.
Yeah, like don't be like, oh man, I haven't played this character yet, but in a week I should learn the max damage combo. Like that's never gonna happen, and you're gonna get so frustrated that you can't do it. So what you should focus on is, I want to do this small thing that and also will feel good, right? One of the other reasons why we say set achievable goals is that you can hit them and you get that like, yes, I did it. I can do this every single time on command. Like, I love Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I play it a lot. I'm not great at it, but like the stuff I know how to do, it's because I was like, I want to learn this combo. And I would practice it every day. And then there'd be days I get it wrong, and I would sit back and I'd be like, all right, I'm getting too antsy. I'm pressing buttons too quickly. I'm not thinking. I'm just mashing. So I would relax. Now, I haven't played the game in like 2 months. I'm pretty sure if I sat down and like put Spider-Man in front of me, I could still do all of his combos because I built those reps in. And that's the same thing about setting goals. Set them in a way where they become fun, achievable, and you'll learn so much from doing that. Go.
One of the things that I found in learning different, not just Tekken, right? Even singing or like piano, whatever, is that oftentimes people will see something they like and then they want to emulate it. So maybe a person sees Jimmy and they're like, I want to play Brian just like Jimmy, right? And hit those like the fancy stuff. But oftentimes I want people to just take the time to really figure out their strengths, their personal strengths, their personal weaknesses, their self, this is so random again, but it's like something I've been trying to practice singing, right? And I hate my voice. I hate it so bad, but like it's important to figure out what the strengths and weaknesses of your voice. So like I can't sing like Demi Lovato, right? And if I try to do that, it's not gonna sound good. I have to figure out my voice and how I can utilize it and shine, right? So I want people, so I encourage people when they see like Tekken or something, if they see like their favorite player, they shouldn't just straight up copy them, right? You should figure out your own strengths, your own, what works for you, what you enjoy, and then build upon that instead of like I want to be the next Jimmy Bryan player or something. You know? What are they? That thing where he does a slow and he taunt jet upper.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Yo, man, whenever I watch Jimmy J. Tran play Bryan, I'm like, that's some fucking next level shit. I can't do any of that. But yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot today. I had fun talking to Emily. This is the longest conversation we've, I think, ever had that didn't involve playing a game at the same time. Because we played like some games together at some point. I think once or twice. But
maybe some League.
Yo, chat. If y'all play League of Legends, y'all should hit us up. We'll like start in houses again.
But I only play one thing, Karthus mid.
Oh my god, get out of here. Sorry, chat. This episode is officially over. But thank you everybody who subscribed. Thank you everybody who came through. Most of y'all from Emily's chat anyway, but let's just remind people, Emily, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at twitch.tv/NyxRose or twitter.com/NyxRose. Or you can follow my team at twitter.com/EQNX Gaming.
All right, and y'all are new to me for a lot of you, so I'm going to show you all my socials.
Follow.
Right here, see? It's all over here. That's the Patreon, the Instagram, the YouTube, the Twitter, all of that stuff. It's all here for you to read. Y'all can screenshot it. I don't know. I should have it on this screen too somehow, but the 2-player screen. Guys, look, I'm not a professional streamer. All right, this is already way more effort than I ever thought I'd put into a show.
It's good.
It is good.
It does the job.
It does. It does. Look at it. It's so simple. A caveman can do it.
It does the job.
Thank you, Emily, for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And
wait, all my people follow. All my people follow.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. It's my first podcast and it was really fun.
I'm glad I tried. Until next time, as the tattoo says, go beyond, plus ultra, and peace.